Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this very special webinar that we have planned for you today. I'm Philip W. Dunn, the Chamber and Business Engagement Manager here at US Black Chambers, Inc. And we're especially excited today because we're really excited. We're rounding out the closing of October. And for the first time in our brand new webinar series in partnership with American Consumer Credit Counseling, or ACCC, USBC is committed to providing you, our members, with the resources that you need in order to thrive. And that starts with securing a rock solid financial foundation. And so we went out and we got the best. And as you know, the theme of this first webinar is empowering financial wellness. And so we often talk about one of our pillars is around securing capital for our businesses. But before you can unlock the capital, you must first have strong personal credit profiles, and that is extremely important. And so that's exactly why we're here today, is to help you to tackle this one challenge. Now, to guide us through this essential step, we're incredibly privileged to have a true expert who has helped thousands of individuals regaining control of their financial lives. And before I introduce him, I just want to share a little bit about US Black Chambers, Inc. for those folks that are new in joining us. We are the national voice of Black businesses. US Black Chambers, Inc. provides committed visionary leadership and advocacy in the realization of economic empowerment. We live this mission every single day. And the way that we achieve our mission is through the creation of resources and initiatives that support our network of Black-owned chambers and Black business organizations across the United States in developing and growing Black enterprises. Now, what we encourage you to do is to, if you have your cell phones out, make sure to scan this QR code. That's going to be the first step that you're going to take. And then we're going to ask you to really pay attention to the information that our special guest is going to share with us on today. Now, our special guest is Kenneth Muhammad, the Director of Counseling for ACCC. Now, Kenneth has been a driving force at ACCC since 2007, so he's been doing this for quite a long time. Now, he currently oversees the entire counseling center, focusing on in-depth staff training and managing day-to-day operations, but he brings tremendous institutional knowledge, and he's certified through the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. Now, his background is extensive and perfectly suited for today's topic. He's a graduate of Boston College Carroll School of Management, has a degree in finance. And prior to ACCC, he was deeply involved in the finance sector as a controller for mutual fund compliance firm. Now, he's also a successful mortgage broker and branch manager. And in short, Kenneth understands financial structures and credit scoring from every possible angle. So make sure to get your questions ready so that we can get those answered for you today. Now, today he'll be sharing some practical, actionable strategies that you can use immediately to tackle credit card debt. That's going to be really important to regain control of your finances and then ultimately strengthen your credit profile in order to achieve that goal that we all share. And that is unlocking greater access to capital for your small businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please welcome Kenneth Muhammad. Kenneth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Phil. I really appreciate the introduction. So what I'm going to talk about today is I am going to discuss exactly what we do here at American Consumer Credit Counseling. And I'm also going to discuss why the information that I'm going to cover is not widely known. And it's information, it's more of, I would try to say, kind of like a hidden gem. So as I go through the information, please stop, ask questions if you need to, because again, a lot of this information might be new to a lot of people. So just starting off, Phil already introduced me, so I do appreciate that, Phil. But I've been with ACCC 19 years. Again, I'm a certified financial counselor, and recently I actually took over the back end of the credit counseling department, which is more of client services. So we're working with clients to actually get them more engaged. So once we enroll them into a program, we want to make sure that they have all the tools that they need to succeed. So what I'm going to cover today is who we are, talk about why we're doing what we're doing, how we can help, and some of the resources and tools that we can give you. And of course, like I said, you can ask questions as we go, or you can put them in the chat. And again, a lot of this information you might not have heard of. So again, it's whatever you're comfortable with. So just starting off, we're a nonprofit 501c3. So we operate as a nonprofit. We compete against for-profit companies, and that's probably a little bit of the challenges that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But we were founded in '91, and we're accredited by the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, or the NFCC. So our mission is to empower individuals, families, and the goal is to help them achieve financial freedom while enhancing business success through strategic alliances that strengthen the community and improve financial health. Our core services are financial education, debt management, as well as housing counseling. So what's going on today in the debt world is that the U.S. household debt total has grown to about $18 trillion. So it's about 105,000 per household. So that includes car loans, personal loans, credit cards, and I want to say that's probably the highest it's been in a while. We do know that the credit card debt levels is the highest that it's ever been. Credit card debt is going up at about 5.9% year after year, and the total credit card debt in the United States right now is 1.2 trillion. And again, that's the highest that we've ever seen. So what does ACCC do to help? So we work directly with creditors, and we lower interest rates, we lower monthly payments, and that we do all of that through the debt management program. We also provide consumers with education tools, and that includes webinars as well. But the goal is to, again, achieve financial empowerment through one-on-one counseling, webinars, seminars. We have an app called Credit U, and we also have digital resources on YouTube, as well as social media, to get education out to the masses. And again, we're going to share some of those links later. But we provide services in all 50 states. So no matter where you are in the US, we either will have a counselor, an office, and of course, you can always call our toll-free number and receive assistance. So starting off, how do consumers find us? So we have digital marketing and online presence. That would mainly, I would say, be Google. Google is probably the biggest or the #1 platform that people search for online help when it comes to debt. That is changing over to AI tools like ChatGPT, just to name one. We also work with partners and try to create referral channels. So we create landing pages to give to businesses so they can have their clients sign up right on their websites. We also have dedicated phone numbers that we can give out to local businesses. And of course, clients refer us a lot. We have probably 25% of all of our clients are from word of mouth referrals. And we do a lot of public relations and outreach, from working with schools all the way to working with different chambers, such as the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. So how does a counseling session work, and how does the process start? So every client that we work with, we start with a free budgeting and counseling session, okay? The session pairs the client with a certified financial counselor, and the session can last in some cases, it's gone a couple hours. It can last about an hour and a half, but it's all different, and it's all specific to the client and what that client's needs are. So the client is pretty straightforward, knows their budget. It could be 45 minutes. And again, a client who really needs the attention, it could go as long as 3 hours. Clients share their financial stress points, while the counselor will identify potential budgeting red flags. So we actually create a budget, not just the general budget, but we go from streaming services all the way down to gym memberships. The goal is to get a complete budget, a complete financial picture of what's going on. And then from there, we'll go over an analysis with the client and really show them where they are and where they are compared to recommended guidelines. We review all available debt options with every client. So those debt options could be working with the creditors directly by yourself. They could be a debt settlement program, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, bankruptcy, and then again, we talk about the debt management program. The reason why we discuss all options is because as a nonprofit, our goal is not to just focus on one solution. Our goal is to give every client the pros and the cons of every possible solution that's out there, and then take the personalized budget that we created and find out exactly which avenue fits best for their situation. Once we review all the options, we pull a copy of the client's credit report. And what we'll do is actually import the debt into our system, and it'll tell us immediately what the benefits would be if they enroll in a debt management program. So our counselors really aren't bankruptcy certified. When I say certified, meaning they're not an attorney. A certified credit counselor cannot give you bankruptcy advice. They can't give you legal advice, but they can definitely give you budgeting advice and tell you how your budget may fit into certain areas. So once we get or review the debt management program, that's really where we're experts, and we can tell you, compared to what you're doing now, how the program would help you moving forward. And the goal is a one-call resolution. So we never have to call a creditor and work out some sort of negotiation. We never will have to tell a client, hey, we'll get back to you once we find out what benefits the creditors are going to offer. The creditors will tell us, and again, the creditors give us these benefits. So we'll be able to tell your clients exactly what we can do for them right there on that one call, and get them set up on a plan to get them moving to getting out of debt. And again, the debt management program is designed for that. It's designed for a one call resolution. Of course, we have clients who want to review later, review with their tax attorney, review with their accountant, and that's 100% okay. But if a client is really in trouble and they want to move forward, we can get them going right on that one call. So how does the debt management plan work, right? So each creditor provides its own unique benefits. A creditor that works with us is going to provide the same benefits between our company and any other debt management agency out there, nonprofit debt management agency. So example, if Chase Bank wants to offer 2%, no matter where you go, you're going to get that 2% interest rate. Another bank might offer a 10% interest rate. Another bank might offer 0%, and they all want a certain percentage of the balance that the client will come in with. So if you have a $10,000 balance, some creditors might want a 2% monthly payment, some might want 2.2, some creditors might 1.75. But we already know what we can offer that client on the first call, because again, each creditor has given us these predetermined benefits. So it really works in the client's favor to know, hey, I don't have to go shop around to find a lower payment with another agency. Or if they get another payment from an agency and it's not what we give them, we can identify if that's really a nonprofit or if that's a for-profit company who's maybe trying to squeeze them into a debt settlement program, which is a totally different product. So we combine all the payments into one monthly payment. Then we draft that payment once a month from the client's account, or they can do a check payment. We prefer an EFT draft. It's just a lot easier. Clients prefer it, and they don't really have to think about it. It's kind of set it and forget it. But we take that payment and we distribute it to all the creditors in the program. Once we send out the initial paperwork with the payment, creditors know the client's in the program, and they begin immediately reducing their interest rates and payments. One of the biggest benefits is that a client who might be past due on their debt, the creditor will actually return the account back to current. Not all creditors do it, but a majority of the creditors who work with agencies like mine, and when they get that initial paperwork, they will start returning accounts back to current, which immediately will help a client's FICO score. Not to mention, if a client comes to us and they're current, they still see an increase in FICO score by going through our program. So the average client, I would say, comes in with about a 586 FICO score. When I say a 586 FICO score, I'm not talking about clients who are delinquent, clients who are over the limit. These are clients who have been paying on time every month. They're clients who have just been living close to the max on their credit cards. And what that does is it just inherently drops their FICO score over time. So when a client will come to us and say, no, I should have a good credit score. I haven't paid anything late, haven't opened up any new accounts. They don't really understand that just by holding on to this high debt load over a long period of time is just dropping their FICO score. So most clients in our program, they see about an 80, I want to say an 80-point increase in FICO score. So our impact on the industry is in 2024, we've collected and dispersed out to creditors $191 million worth of debt payments on behalf of the client. 75% said they improved their financial stability within just 3 months of joining the program. And we have about 35,000 clients who are now currently in the program. That has gone up, I want to say 6,000 over the course of 2 years, which is the most our company's ever seen. I want to also say that we were originally seeing about $20,000 average debt per client. That's now gone up to 30,000 average debt per client. So why is this so different, or why is this sort of a hidden gem? Right now, most people know only about a product that's called debt settlement. And debt settlement does not go by the name debt settlement. They go by the same names we go by: debt management, credit counseling, consumer credit. And they're doing that because they're able to get clients who are looking for debt management. Debt settlement, again, totally different product. Their goal is to let the debt go delinquent, reach collection status, and then they try to offer a settlement with the collection agency. So you can imagine a client who's on average has 5 to 6 credit cards, having all those accounts go delinquent. You can imagine the impact on their credit score. They will sometimes reach a settlement within 2 to 4 years, where our clients are usually in our program for 3 to 5 years. However, out of 6 creditors, 2 will most likely file some sort of judgment or lawsuit. So a majority of the clients that we see who are coming from debt settlement, they're really kind of stuck in that situation and either have to go through bankruptcy to stop the settlement, but it's very hard to switch over to a debt management program. So the companies that you might hear about, National Debt Relief or Freedom Debt, they do not advertise the way that we advertise. As a nonprofit, we don't really have the funding that they have. So you're going to see they have commercials. You're going to see they even have a NASCAR, car going around the track for National Debt Relief. So consumers only know those options because they don't know about debt management. We've had clients who have joined the program and say, "Hey, are you sure this is not settlement? Never heard of this." We've had banks work with us who say they've never heard of this. So it is truly kind of a hidden gem that's out there. And the way we are marketing is by going through businesses, going through organizations to get referrals, to get partnerships. But again, debt settlement right now is a huge problem to consumers. They're putting them in a worse position. Their credits is being ruined. They are getting out of debt, some of them, but with the likelihood of being sued. Also, as well, because they're going into collection, while they're on that road to collections, the interest is still accruing. Our interest rate is reducing, and they have very, very high fees. The first 3 payments or I would say 3 to 6 payments that are going to the debt settlement company, because again, they're trying to act like debt settlement where they'll take a monthly payment. That money's going into an escrow account. And what's happening is the first 3 to 6 payments is actually their fee. Okay. Where in debt management, every dime that you give us towards your debt is going towards your debt. And we charge just a one-time enrollment fee of $39. In certain states like Georgia, New Hampshire, it's actually waived. There is no fee. And in other states, there's a cap on the fee. So our average fee that we charge to enroll is, I want to say, about $24 per client on average. And there is something called the monthly maintenance fee, where that just covers the fees for wiring the funds to the creditors. On average, that's about $42 a month. But again, when clients are saving $400, $500, $600 per month in monthly payments due to the reduced interest rates, those fees typically don't make a difference or really, come into play as far as making a decision. So this is an example. We only use $15,000 as the example, but the orange box on the left, that's what most clients are going through before they get to us. $15,000 worth of debt, 26% interest, monthly payment of about $600. If you fall for the shrinking payment trick, which is as you're making payments, the creditors will reduce their payment next month and the month after, that will actually keep some clients in debt for 30 years or more. So the average I want to say is probably 25, but we've seen clients well over 30 years to pay down the debt if they're just making minimum payments. And you're going to pay a total of 21,000 in just interest alone, which is well over the amount that you're even starting with as far as the debt's concerned. Through ACCC, what we'll do is we'll drop the interest rates on an average, we'll say to 8%. That's probably a high average. We also have hardship programs, but we always like to paint the worst possible picture instead of saying, hey, you can get 0%. Even though you can, we try to market the 8% just in case you have a creditor that might be a little higher than others. But again, 8%, your new monthly payment's going to be 305, and the amount of time to pay off is 60. 60 months is the max as well. Our average client is done in 42 months. So if you have an account that pays off early, we don't lower the payment. We take that payment you were making to that one creditor, and we then apply it to the next creditor with the higher interest rate. What that will do is help you pay down the debt even faster. So the payment stays consistent over time. And again, the average client is out of debt in about 42 months. So by going through a debt management program with a bare minimum of 15,000, you're going to see a monthly savings of about $295 per month, interest savings of about 18,000, and almost 27 years of payments as far as making the minimum payment or the shrinking payment trick. So if this new debt load that we're seeing, which is about 30,000 per client, you can basically double the savings. So most clients are probably right now seeing 500 to 600 in savings on 30,000, and they're saving probably close to probably 42 or 50,000 in interest altogether. And of course, the 27 years stays about the same, but again, 42 months versus 27 years, it's pretty much a no-brainer. So we get client success stories all the time. We get testimonials. I encourage you to check us out on Google. We have 40,000 5-star reviews, and it's growing every single month. But this client here, Michael Fagan, he accumulated credit card debt from covering business expenses. With the debt becoming insurmountable, he turned to us for help. And what we did was we worked directly with his creditors, reduced the stress, financial burden. 90% of our clients aren't, I would say, talking about the interest rates, so to speak, meaning if you look at our 40,000 5-star reviews, very few of them will mention the reduced payment and interest rate. A majority of them are talking about the reduce in stress, the reduce in not having to rely on credit cards, being able to sleep at night. So again, it's truly a lifesaver for a lot of people. And you can see more stories like Michael on Google, and you'll be able to see other reviews as well. So our vision for the future, we want to lead in industry innovation, operational efficiency. What that means is we're looking to come out with online counseling. So if you have clients who are busy, who don't have time to get on the phone with a counselor, they can do their counseling online. So when they do speak to a counselor, we can get them in and out of the program. Well, not out of the program, but in and out of the counseling session within about 20 minutes versus an hour and a half if they choose to. We have an app called Credit U, so clients can track their budget. They can maintain their budget on the app. And we're also investing in AI-driven strategies to optimize client acquisition and retention. So we're using AI tools to determine who are the clients who might have a likelihood of dropping out of the program, or is there AI type strategies that will allow us to find clients before they really hit kind of the wall, so to speak. So that's really what we're working towards now. As we grow the client base, the goal is not to grow the staffing, because that just takes away from the resources that we can provide to doing a better job and a better service for our clients. So again, we are exploring diversification through financial education, strategic partnerships, and we also offer webinars. So if you have an organization and you say, hey, I want you guys to come in and do a webinar for our staff, for our employees, even for our students, you just let us know and we can get you to the outreach team, and we'll be able to actually get you either someone in person or we'll be able to do a webinar or even just get you materials if that's what works. So I just want to ask or open it up to see if there are any questions or concerns.
Kenneth, thank you so much for sharing this information. And as you can expect, there are some questions that have come through the chat, and I want to try to see if we can tackle a few of
Absolutely.
these. One of the first questions uh, is this ACCC impact for all of your ACCs or just your location only?
No, it's for all of our locations. So we have locations all over the country. I want to say we're in about 32 states right now, but we will fly a counselor out. We've done it before. We've flown counselors out to a location if we had a certain state or a certain location where we didn't have an office. So the benefits that we offer is nationwide. We do have one local call center. So when you do call in, no matter where you're calling from, we're open till 11:30 p.m. Eastern. We're also open on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're really trying to service the West Coast as well as the East Coast. But no, all locations get the exact same benefits. And the fees, again, are really determined by your state. 42% of the states have some sort of fee cap. So again, the average fee is really 42 per month and 39, I want to say, excuse me, 24 to enroll. But the most you would pay would be $39 to enroll in the program.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And that question came from Jovan Franklin from Bright Financial Futures. We do have another question here in the chat that is from Samantha Sinclair. And Samantha has a question. Is this service provided for business accounts as well?
Absolutely. So the creditors, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on how it works as far as determining the benefits, but all the creditors give us a list of credit cards that we can work with. So I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but when you have a credit card, the first 4 to 6 digits on that credit card tells us exactly who the lender is and exactly if it's a business or personal account. So the bigger banks, I want to say Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Capital One, they all give us business, what we call masking numbers, so we can work with them. Not all companies do, but that's why we go through the free counseling session first. We can find out exactly what we can work with, what's the creditor doesn't allow into a DMP, but we'll cover all of that with you on your counseling session.
Awesome, awesome. And Samantha is with Pathway to Purpose, and Samantha has another question. Is this service provided for loans as well? I know we hear about credit cards all the time, but all forms of debt included in this service?
No, that's a great question. So that's probably the biggest growth area that we have right now. So right now we are working with loan companies like OneMain, and I want to say there's a couple other big ones, but we're actually going to be working with Lending Club by the end of the year, as well as SoFi by the end of the year. So we had a big meeting with Lending Club. Lending Club does see the need to help out in this industry. So does SoFi. We work with Best Egg as well. So those are the bigger loan companies. The smaller, more, I want to say, predatory loans. And again, I'm not, I don't want to badmouth anyone, but they're small companies like the Upstarts of the world. They do not work with agencies like ours. But if they don't work with us, then they don't work with any agency. So what all the agencies, and when I say agencies, I'm talking about all the other nonprofit companies like ACCC. We've come up with a way to try to get our clients help. So by going through the consultation, we'll see who works with us, who doesn't. I'll be honest with you, a lot of clients, once they save 30,000 on the credit cards, they say, hey, this is enough where I can take that savings on a $30,000 credit card debt. I can take that $500-600 a month savings and just pay down these smaller predatory loans a lot faster, or even put to other loans that we've never heard of. But typically payday loans tend not to work with us, and car loan companies don't, only because they have collateral. So they really don't need to. They can always come take their car or take their assets back if they don't like what's going on. But again, 90% of our clients take the credit cards, get the savings, and put towards the car they can't afford, IRS debt that doesn't work in a program like this, or any type of payday loans or other type of loans. This is kind of like this, and I use this term, but this is what clients say. It's almost like getting a second job without getting a second job. Where else can you go, especially if you're busy, you have kids, and free up $500-600 a month in your budget to actually start going towards other things like goals that you might have. And again, it's almost like getting extra income, so to speak.
Oh, and thank you for that additional information. And we do have a couple other questions that are coming in. One question is coming in from CC Norwood. CC is asking the question if you all work with nonprofits.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we work with nonprofits, we work with banks, credit unions. Our outreach is mainly with other nonprofits. We work with housing organizations. We work with organizations that are helping people who are homeless. So our outreach department is totally separate from the DMP, meaning we're not looking to do outreach for DMP. However, if you need ACCC to do outreach for your organization, will gladly do so. And if there are people there who need the program, great. And if not, again, the outreach is really what we kind of do at heart, so to speak. And the debt management program is what allows us to have staff to go out into the community to actually do work.
Awesome. So I hope that answered your question, CC. And CC is with BSSA, and we're glad that CC has joined us today. A couple other questions that we have for you. We know that you have other services that you all perform, and we're also going to have you back in November. And so I'm going to
Right.
make sure to share that with everyone. But are you prepared to just kind of mention some of the other services
Oh,
that
absolutely.
you perform?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bankruptcy program where you can get your certificate, your pre and post certificate. Before filing for bankruptcy, you have to get a certificate that says you went through a financial education or financial counseling. We also we also have a housing program where we're able to help clients get counseling for reverse mortgages. There's a lot of seniors who don't have a home to pass down to family, and they're really living check to check, so they can actually live without a mortgage payment and money in certain cases going into their pockets to pay for medication through a reverse mortgage. And we also just remember too, if there's anything that someone needs that we don't have, we have a lot of referral partners that we work with. So we have a organization in North Carolina. They do a lot with our rental assistance clients. They also do a lot with our foreclosure counseling clients. So the housing is actually another big piece. So, but it's really the debt management, the housing, and not only the outreach as well, but the bankruptcy counseling. So those are our main services that we provide.
Got it. And I definitely appreciate that because it's great to also hear some of the other options and some of the other services that folks might be able to take advantage of. So definitely
Absolutely.
appreciate. And
Absolutely.
then just a couple other questions because just kind of thinking through some of the things that you shared in the presentation, and then thinking about some of our members' needs as far as the time requirement and how long they're in a program or in a relationship with a credit counselor. Can you expand on that typical timeline from the initial consultation
Mhm.
until they start seeing positive impact on their credit profile?
Absolutely. So when you first start the program, it's all, and again, this all goes into um, the basics of the credit report. So it's not necessarily us doing anything. It's mainly how the credit scoring system works. So if you're maxed out on a credit card and you join our program, the accounts you put in our program are closed. We have emergency accounts that, so for instance, if you have account, you're like, hey, I use that for renting a car, I use that for shopping or travel or buying school clothes for the kids. You can keep those cards out the program. That's the best part. It's not an all or nothing program like a debt settlement or like a bankruptcy would be. So if you have these really high credit cards that are high interest rates and you can't pay down, we'll work with those accounts. You start the program, but those accounts are closed. You might see an initial drop in FICO score, which again, that's based on you shutting down certain amount of credit that you have available. But if you're maxed out, you might not see any reduction at all. If you're past due and you join the program and your creditors return your accounts back to current, you're going to see an increase in FICO score right away. But most clients within, and we did a test on the clients that we currently have, and it was within 6 months they were seeing an increase in FICO score. But we do give you tips on how to help better your score. So again, if you're saving money every month and you have your emergency accounts, start paying those down. Start taking that extra and putting to an emergency fund, right? So we tell all clients we want you to have 3 to 6 months, or I would say 3 months, 3 to 4 months of your living expenses in savings. Once you do that, then start putting extra on credit cards and other debt, and all that other good stuff. But again, we give them the tools and the knowledge to do so. But I would say from the time you start the program, remember, you're not in the program until you decide to make your first payment. So you might say, hey, I'm joining today, but I'm not going to start until next month. Or guess what? I'm in trouble. I'm joining today. Can I start tomorrow? Both of those are possible. So the sooner you get started, the sooner the creditors get the paperwork. The bigger creditors know exactly what's going on and will get you set up usually within weeks. So you'll actually start seeing the lower interest rates and payments immediately. And as the debt's getting paid down, you'll start seeing your credit score actually increase over time. But again, there's different ways to speed up that process. But also remember too, you can't join the program and start paying down the debt, but then you're going delinquent on other bills that could be on your, you got to pay your mortgage on time, got to pay the car note on time. So again, we give you all the information you need. We have a great client portal. On the Credit U app, you can actually go in and pull a copy of your credit report and you can see what's going on. Or we'll tell you how to go and get a free copy yourself. But I do want to say it's different for everyone. The more stuff you got working for you on the credit report, you'll probably see a bigger impact sooner. If you enroll and all you have is collection debt, we might have to say, hey, you got to get a secured credit card, show that you're responsible, and that will build your FICO score, because paying off collection debt really will not increase your score whatsoever. It'll make your credit history look a lot better that you have paid off your collection debt, but it's not going to increase your score if all you have out there is a bunch of collection debt.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for answering that and expanding on that. Now, we do have another question that came in from Javon, and they're asking, you mentioned reverse mortgage. Do you assist with HECM default?
We do not. We do not. And I can get more information on that. So what we do is we really do the HECM counseling before anyone gets, and it's the home equity conversion mortgage, HECM, HECM. So what we do is we do the counseling, and we have lenders who say, hey, I have this client who wants to do a reverse mortgage. They'll send them over to us. We'll do the counseling for them. So they know the ins and outs of the program. So they, again, we don't, it prevents any type of predatory practices from going on. So we really just do the counseling. We do not do any type of default resolution.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. This next question, I know that you've already explained to us
That's okay.
About that temporary dip in credit score,
Right.
and that happens usually at the beginning of the program. And
Right.
and what can you quantify what that typical effect
I mean,
on credit score is, or does it
so
vary?
right. So I don't want to be, I don't want to say exactly what's going to happen, because I don't want anyone to say, okay, given my situation, this is what I can expect. But the average client who's coming to us at a 580, they might see a 10 to 20 point drop initially. And then within a few months, they'll start seeing that go up as they're paying down the debt. We've had some clients who saw no drop at all. So it's weird, because maybe if you own a home and you shut down your maxed out account, you might not see anything. If you don't own a home, or you don't have a car payment, and you put every single account you own in the program, that could have a different effect. So the reason why we actually do that 1 hour or hour and a half or 3 hour counseling session at the beginning is to give everybody as much information as possible. The last thing we want is for unexpected things to happen to clients once they join the program. So if anything, we thoroughly look at your situation. We want you to know what to expect, And if something happens that, that wasn't expected, we're here to work with you and make sure it gets corrected.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And just a couple more questions out of respect for your time. I do have
No,
one.
I'm fine.
Let's just assume that our small business owners, our members, they successfully complete their time with ACC.
Hmm.
What follow-up tools, what resources will you provide to ensure that they maintain that financial health in the
Great
long term?
question. Great question. We're starting in December. It might, because IT's involved, our technology department's involved, it might run into January. We're creating a graduation program. So not only will you have tools to help you stay on track, but we're actually um, making it for your state. So it's going to be dynamic to the state that you live in or the state that you work in. So agencies that we partnership with, for instance, the organization I was talking about in North Carolina that helps with empowerment, and they hold webinars to help people with, understanding finances. If you live in North Carolina, that will pop up on your graduation page, and there'll be different organizations. We're going to have different webinars. There's another company that we're working with, which is a nonprofit. It's called Dealing with Debt. They have a whole platform where companies like us will actually give webinars on their platform. And if you graduate from the debt management program, you'll already be able to just sign up for that platform, and it's an ongoing platform from tax professionals to accountants to debt management professionals like ourselves. So the graduation page we're really excited about, and the goal is to actually have a customer for life, not a debt management customer for life, but someone that can engage in our resources.
Perfect, perfect. And thank you so much for answering that question. If you do have time, just
Absolutely.
for one more, and it's something that we feel like we really want to make sure that we drive home the importance. And we have folks on the call that are business owners, they're nonprofit directors. Talk to us about, and pretty much the entire presentation has covered this, but talk to us about the importance of the connection between the owner's personal credit and their ability to obtain small business funding, and then also really drive home, where ACC helps them to focus their efforts in that relationship.
No, great question. So I can tell you one of the biggest red flags that I do see when I'm working with small business owners is that they don't separate their business expenses from their personal expenses. So when we get you on the phone with a counselor, if we start seeing right off the bat that you're commingling business expenses with household personal expenses, we'll try to work with you so that you can separate that, right? So the issue is not necessarily with, hey, enrolling people just because they have debt. There is some healthy business debt. You're investing in business. You're investing in certain resources that are going to turn around and bring in more revenue. That's probably not the client that would benefit from a debt management program. A client who would benefit from what we do is a client who is maybe opened up their business, used a credit card to get everything started, and now the credit cards are a hindrance to actually growing the business further. Excuse me. So as a business owner, the first thing we do, again, we'll get you to try and separate the business expenses from personal. We'll then do this. We'll go through the same consultation, because no matter what happens with the business, we want to make sure that it's not affecting the household situation. So we don't want you losing your house, your car over the business. So we're going to do the household budget. We'll cover that piece. And again, you definitely want to see business professionals, because we're not, we're more consumer credit. But when you own that business, a lot of times all you can get is consumer debt or personal debt to really finance that business and get it off the ground. Once you're more established, you can then get business loans or business debt that's really not attached to you as much as it is in those initial stages, especially when you're a small business, sole proprietorship, etc.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you so much again, Kenneth, for sharing
Thank you for
uh,
having me.
this process. But I'd like for you to, if you don't mind, just let's look ahead
Mhm.
to November. And if you could just kind of share with folks what they can expect from the budgeting and credit solutions for small business success webinar that we're going to do in November.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about tools that businesses can use to help keep their business and their personal budget separate. We're going to look at the different type of solutions that are out there for small businesses and which ones are probably a little bit more riskier than others, which ones that can probably come back to you personally. So we're going to really use real life situations that we've seen here at ACCC with business owners. We actually did a grant for TD Bank North just for our business owners, and we're hopefully going to have some of that data back to actually go over with the team and say, hey, if this is going on, you're more likely to see this happen. So that's really going to be a more, I want to say, data driven kind of this is what we see type webinar. So again, it kind of just give you best practices more than anything.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Muhammad, and I see we got some really good feedback for you in the chat. Great presentation by
Thank you.
CC Norwood. So we definitely appreciate your time with us today, Kenneth.
Thank you for having me. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, from this upcoming webinar, I want to make sure that you all get a chance to scan this QR code so that you can register for this upcoming webinar. It's going to be real important. A lot of the practices and the tips and the tricks that Kenneth is going to be sharing, we can apply to our everyday financial situation. So we want to make sure that you all attend and then also share it with a fellow small business owner so that they can learn as well and benefit as well. Now, we also want to ensure that you have access to our other upcoming webinars. So you can scan this QR code. It takes you to usblackchambers.org/webinars. And it is there that you can go out and take a look at some of the remaining webinars that we have for 2025. And then also get ready for 2026 as we're going to be working to share the information, this information and more information in 2026 with our upcoming roster of webinars. And for all of you small business owners that still have not taken advantage of the Buy Black platform, now is the time. This is the time for you to join the Buy Black directory network so that you can be found by consumers, so that you can be found by corporate buyers and federal government partners as well. The Buy Black platform is the top platform for Black-owned businesses. We have developed an extensive database and directory for Black-owned businesses to be found, to network, and to benefit from opportunities that are strictly for Buy Black certified companies. You can also certify at buyblack.us, certify your business as a Black-owned organization so that you can qualify for specific opportunities that may be coming your way. There may be some of our corporate partners that are looking specifically for businesses from our directory. So we encourage you to scan the QR code, make sure that you list your business, and then when you're ready, pursue certification with USBC at our Buy Black platform. Next up, we have our office hours. We have a resource desk that is on USBC, but we have office hours to help drive the connection between your business needs and the resources and information that we have here at USBC. So tomorrow, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, every Friday, we will have office hours. So you get all of your specific questions answered, or you get action items created for us to follow up with you on, and you get a chance to discover all of the USBC resources that we have available at USBC. So we encourage you to scan that QR code as well. Tiffany is dropping a number of the links in the chat so that you'll get a chance to attend that and get your questions answered, or just to network with us. Tiffany and I are on that call for an hour each Friday, and we want to make sure that we meet and reach out to every one of our small business members. All right, this is another one. This is a really hot opportunity. We have partnered with Verizon Small Business Digital Ready and Lisk and Next Street in order to bring you all some digital resources that can help in growing your business. Now, between now and December 10th, you can participate in Verizon Small Business Digital Ready and qualify for a potential opportunity to win one of 50 $10,000 grants. $10,000 could be closer than you think. So each year we work with Verizon to create an opportunity to distribute grant funding to our small businesses and to our stakeholders. So each year, Digital Ready helps small businesses just like yours reach that next level with $10,000 grants. So this time it could be you. We had on our call last Friday a small business member that was happy to share that they won a grant through the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform. So we're real excited to share that good news with our other members and really encourage all of you, all 20 or so of you, to make sure that you are registered at the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform. And then the only thing you need to do to unlock the grant application is to take 2 courses or events through the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform and then apply by December 10th. So I see that Stacy says she's going to be one of the winners. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are going to participate in this grant funding platform. And then if you do, make sure that you scan this QR code so that you can get started. All right, I'm seeing a lot of 1s in the chat, and this is awesome. I really do appreciate that. All right, the next thing, we do have our Buy Black grant list. They, over at Buy Black platform, have curated the most current grants possible. So you can access a listing of these grants by scanning this QR code. Really valuable opportunity for you to learn about the different grants that are available. And we encourage you all to explore those in order to help boost your business. In keeping with our access to capital conversation, we do have a relationship with a CDFI, and that is Lendistry. And USBC and Lendistry have been working together to introduce new loan products for small businesses that may qualify. So for our under-resourced small businesses that deserve a fair chance of affordable financing, we encourage you to consider lending products from Lendistry. So you can scan this QR code in order to learn more. And Tiffany has also dropped the information in the chat. Now, our small business news and resources, we do have on our periodically, we share information about our different small businesses. We also provide information on tools and training and provide expert advice. So definitely stay tuned to your emails to make sure that you get a chance to get that information in a timely manner. And then we also have, in addition to our office hours, we have a relationship with SCORE. All of our small business members can sign up to get a SCORE mentor. And this really works well when you're looking to close the gap in some of the gaps that you have at your business. The SCORE mentor can help you to achieve that. And the topics include everything from business planning, finance, HR, operations, marketing, certification, contracting, and business development. Select this QR code if you need a mentor. All right, Samantha says she has a SCORE mentor and it has been game changing. So thankful for this resource. Thank you for sharing that, Samantha. And we hope to get every one of our small businesses a mentor that needs one. So last couple of items, and then we're going to let you go. The USBC newsletter. This is probably the most information-packed newsletter that we share out. This is the main one. We encourage you all to stay connected with the voice of Black-owned businesses. Join the USBC newsletter or exclusive updates, business tips, resources, and advocacy news. We are continually working to advocate for you. Yesterday, here in Houston, I had the pleasure of working with Ron Busby Sr., our president, at the Afrotech conference, where he sat down with the economic development chief here at the city of Houston, and he shared information on a lot of the work that we're doing in order to ensure that small businesses, and particularly Black-owned businesses, are being heard. And so we encourage you all to sign up to the newsletter, subscribe to make sure that you're getting the most recent information about our advocacy efforts and our resources. And then lastly, as always, on behalf of our president, Ron Busby Sr., our board, our hardworking staff, my colleague, Tiffany E., who does an amazing job, we want to thank you all for attending this very timely and important topic. We want to thank ACCC for being a very valued partner. Kenneth Muhammad and team, we are looking forward to working with you all to really get our clients and our businesses and our members on the right track. But we encourage you all to visit US Black Chambers, usblackchambers.org/webinars. Register for all those upcoming webinars that you see that you're interested in. Look for other training opportunities. And of course, follow us on social media at the, at the following platforms. And then lastly, if you have any questions, make sure to send those emails to programs@usblackchambers.org. That one has visibility to the entire staff, so there's always someone that can reach out and respond. So you guys have been great, and we want to thank you again. You all have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all in November. Happy Halloween.